Welcome to another video. Today it is my can I sew a wrap dress in a day video, and the answer to that I already know is yes. So I'm challenging myself a little bit more, and it's can I cut out and sew a wrap dress in a day. Now this is the Butterick 6554. I have done a sew along for this pattern. I have changed a few little things, so I will show you those in this video, but the majority of what I'll be doing today is exactly like the sew along, which you can find up here if you would like to have a look. I put these fabrics for a vote up on Patreon whether I should be doing black polka dots or red polka dots. There was 1% difference, so I could have gone either way, but I had the black in stock and I really like how they look together. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the ruffles for the bodice and the skirt out of the black polka dots, and I'm going to double up my ruffles because that is just my personal preference. I don't like a ruffle hemmed when you're going to be able to see both sides of it, because the fabric on the wrong side just doesn't look that nice. So I'm going to double up my ruffles. I have enough fabric for that. Then cut out the body, the skirt and the sleeves and the ties of the dress in the floral, and I think I have enough fabric for that. I might end up with a little bit left over, possibly for a top. We shall see. I've been seeing a lot of videos recently about how making stuff quickly isn't necessarily the best thing in the world, how we're kind of replacing buying fast fashion for making fast fashion, and I do see that angle, I do see that side of things, but I don't compromise on finish. So I'm going to be French seaming everything, bias binding edges. I'm going to be making this to the highest quality that I possibly can. It's just a fun video for you guys, and I'm in no way saying that anyone else has to make this dress in a day or has to do this, and I will be. I have gone and bought all of the snacks, so I don't even need to leave the sewing room except for bathroom breaks. So it's just a fun challenge for myself, and hopefully it will be a fun video for you guys to watch as well. Like I say, there's a few little bits that I have tweaked from the sew along, so I'll include those in this video, and let's get on and see if I can sew a wrap dress in a day.
1 hour later.
Dress is cut out and ready to go. I had more than enough of both fabrics, which is awesome. I need to turn the room back into sewing configuration, so I'm going to get that done, and then we can start doing all the fiddly bits, which will be the ruffles and the ties first. I have ruffles, many ruffles, and my ties. So I think I'm going to work on the skirt next. Not that this is going to drop on the bias, but just get the skirt done, sew the ruffles up, and then I can work on the bodice, which is the more complicated piece. I'm really liking how it's turning out. So I have got my bodice all together and ready to be attached to the skirt, but the first thing I'm going to do is put on a neck stay. I have learned about this from the Sew Over Eve dress. It works really well for that one, so I thought I'd give it a try on this dress. Usually with this dress I do kind of put a safety pin in at the neckline where I want it to sit, because it can sometimes get a little bit cleavage-tastic. Not that that's a problem, but just, yeah, I do sometimes wear these with safety pins in them, so I'm going to give this a try and see if it'll work. So we will need our front bodice piece, our back bodice piece, and both of our sleeve pieces, because the sleeve piece also is the neckline because of the nature of these are raglan sleeves. So the first thing that we're going to do is you want to draw in your seam allowance at the top of your front bodice piece. So seam allowance along this pattern is 5/8 of an inch, so I've drawn that in, and then I've drawn the seam allowance in along the front edge, and I've measured it, and mine comes to exactly 18 inches. So that's the front piece. Then we're going to do the same for the back neckline. So I've marked in the seam allowance, and I'm marking in the seam allowance and only measuring from the seam allowance, not from the raw edge, because I've stitched in all the French seams. So this seam allowance has been taken up in that stitching line, so I just need to know how long the back neck edge is from stitching line to fold. And I've measured that, and it is 1 5/8 of an inch. So we need to times that by 2. And then we're doing the same for our sleeves. I've marked in the seam allowance on this side and this side, and then along the neckline, and I have measured the neckline on both sides. On the back it's 1 3/4, and on the front it's 3 5/8. I have my twill tape, and I've got black 1/2 inch twill tape here, and the reason I'm using twill tape as well as bias binding, because I am going to bind the neck edge of my dress as well to finish it off, but the reason I'm using twill tape is because there's no give in it, there's no stretch in it whatsoever. So bias binding is cut on the bias and inherently has stretch so that it will go around curves and corners neatly and can be manipulated, whereas this stuff is completely rigid. So the first thing I want to do is just even up my edge here, because that's on the angle at the moment. My first marking was 18 inches. I'm going to mark that there. Then my sleeve front was 3 5/8 of an inch. So I'm going to mark that in. My sleeve back was 1 3/4. The back neckline was 1 5/8 times 2. 1 5/8 of an inch times 2 is 3 1/4. Glad I checked that. So 3 1/4 inches. And then the back neckline was 1 3/4. And then the front of the sleeve was 3 5/8. And then the front neckline was 18 inches. Okay, so I've marked all those places in with chalk pen so that I can see them, and I'm going to line all those markings up with the corresponding seams, and then if necessary I will ease in the front edge place. I'll start at the centre back and work my way around. There's my centre back, so I'm going to start there, get it pinned in, work my way around, ease it all in, see how it looks. The twill tape fitted into the neckline perfectly, so it was all stitched into place within the seam allowance so it wouldn't be visible on the final garment. Then I could sew up the waist seam with a French seam, finish off the raw edge with bias binding, put in the buttonhole, and... To answer the question, can you make a wrap dress in a day? Yes, you can. Let me show you. It's going to come as no surprise to any of you, but I love how this dress has turned out. I am really grateful to the Patreon peeps for voting for this combination. It meant that I didn't have to buy new fabric and that I could just get on and get this done, and I love how it has turned out. There is going to have been a list of names scrolling along the bottom of the video at this moment with all the Patreon peeps names on it, so thank you very much for voting for this. I have very much enjoyed making this dress and I'm going to enjoy wearing it as well. I am not very good at print clashing, as we have talked about previously, but I do think a polka dot is kind of a neutral. Like we've said, gingham, polka dots and stripes are technically neutrals, and if you get the scale of them right they can look really good paired with florals, at least in my opinion. I know not everyone agrees with me, but I really like it. It is one of my favourite wrap dress patterns, but it is a bit of a fabric hungry beast. Now technically VB for 115 wide should be 4.3 meters of fabric, or for 150 wide fabric 3.5 meters of fabric, and I'm going by like the size 12, so the median of the range. This one for me takes 5 meters of fabric because I do double up the ruffles. Those ruffles are very fabric hungry. I personally just don't like the look of the wrong side of the fabric being on show with these ruffles, which is why I have doubled up the ruffles. It's just a personal preference, and again it's just something that I like to do for my dresses. If it's not a bugbear of yours, then a single layer ruffle with a narrow rolled hem will look absolutely amazing on this dress, and is obviously the way that the dress was designed. The envelope has the finished garment measurement, back length from base of neck. Not helpful, as we have been over, but again this is an older pattern and fingers crossed next year the envelopes should be more informative. At least that is the rumour that I have heard. I have also changed things up a little bit with this dress because it is meant to be a faux wrap, so it's meant to have on the inside 2 ribbons that tie at one side, and then on the outside it's meant to have 1 long and 1 short strap that tie together at the side to finish the dress off. Personally, if I am making a wrap dress, I want to have my ties, my waist ties, wrap around my waist and be a real wrap dress. So I put in a buttonhole on the French seam at the side, and then I cut the 2 long ties rather than cutting 1 short and 1 long tie. But again, I go through all of that in the sew along. It's just a personal preference. I want to be able to cinch it in at the waist as much as possible, and I find if I have a belt that wraps all the way around, that is the overall effect that I get, which is something that I like. The other thing that I have changed is I have left off the facing for the front neckline. I have filmed some footage of the inside of the dress, so I'll show you that now. Okay, I know how you guys like to see the insides of my clothes, so this is the 655 4. I have changed a little bit about the inside. I, as you guys probably know, very much dislike facings. I have done the sew along in the first one of these with a facing along here and bias binding at the back neck edge, which is what the pattern calls for. I hated that facing and I ended up top stitching it down anyway, which, because I put the ruffles on, you can't see. Here's my top stitching line, but kind of if you haven't got the ruffles on, the facing was supposed to not give you visible top stitching at the front. But for the way that the rest of the dress is finished, you might as well just continue the bias binding all the way around. With the ruffles, there is a point where you can't top stitch it down, so I'm just going to slip stitch this into place. To be fair, I'm probably actually going to just leave it, but because of where the ruffle comes to, you can't top stitch, because I'm not top stitching the ruffle, I'm just top stitching the actual outer fabric of the garment. There does come a point where you have to stop your stitching, move over and start again at this edge here, which is the front sleeve. But yeah, I have literally just sewn the bias binding down all the way around. It has enclosed the twill tape that I added in there. You can probably, there we go, you can see the twill tape here. It is in the neckline. The only other thing to note is when you start and stop your bias binding, I like to do it at the centre back of the skirt, because this is an area where it won't really get seen. The back stitching that you need to do to start and stop your bias binding won't really get seen at the bottom back edge of the hem, and if it does, again, they are far too close. So yeah, I have left off the facing on the front part of the dress. It was only a facing for the front neckline. The top of the sleeves and the back neckline get finished with bias binding in the original. I have just continued the bias binding the whole way around the front edge, and as I showed you, the only part that you can't do that for is this little gap here because of how this ruffle gets attached into the sleeve seam. Again, I've added these ruffles onto these sleeve seams. That's not technically what the pattern had intended. These ruffles were meant to be for the halter neck elasticated back version, but I love the ruffles and I think they balance out really nicely with the ruffles on the skirt, especially if you do them in a contrasting fabric like I've done for this one. I do think the twill tape in the neckline has helped keep this snug to the body. The pattern piece is actually, the front neckline, this diagonal edge is cut on the straight of grain, which I'm assuming is to help so that it doesn't stretch and bag out the way that obviously necklines that are cut on a bias can and will do. This is the first time that I have put a twill stay tape into this dress. The other three that I haven't done that with. This one does feel like it is hugging my body a little bit more, and I don't feel like I have to put a safety pin in underneath the ruffles at the front edge to keep this decent. The other ones I have can end up being quite cleavage-tastic if I'm not careful. It was definitely a very easy thing to measure out and not draft, but mark onto the twill tape and sew in. The points that I marked correspond with the seam lines. I offset it by about 1/4 of an inch and then stitched it in with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance so that the stitching wouldn't be visible on the outer garment, even though there is top stitching here. I didn't want there to be 2 lines of top stitching visible. So it's in the seam allowance of the neckline, but it's not on, the stitching isn't on display. The only stitching that you can see is the securing of the bias binding to enclose the twill tape and enclose all the raw edges and finish off the neck or the entire wrap edge of this dress. The last change that I've made to the pattern is I have shortened these sleeves, and again I go through that in the sew along. I just prefer this slightly shorter length on me. As I've mentioned, I have made 4 of these. I will be making more. I tend to gravitate towards the Eve because it's a 3-meter dress. The only reason I don't have more of these dresses is because they are fabric hungry beasts. 5 meters of fabric is a lot, but I think it's worth it, and it's such a roughly twirly dress. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, yes, I've done a wrap dress in a day, and it's a fun challenge for myself. It is not an indication of how long it should be taking you to make this dress. Don't forget, this is my full-time job and also my hobby, so I get to do my 8 hours 8-hour day of work, and then if it carries on over, it's like, oh, I'm just continuing with my hobby. So this dress did, I think, including cutting out, take me around about 10 hours to get done over that day, but I was filming the process as well. I was stopping for my snack breaks. The snacks was a great idea. You know, I wasn't rushing to get things done. I don't want to replace fast fashion in my life. I don't want to make disposable items that I'm going to wear once and never pick out of my wardrobe again. I want to make things that I love, that are going to stand the test of time, that are going to be in my wardrobe for a long time and worn multiple times, and I think that this dress is one of those. And again, I personally like French seams on the inside of my dresses. I personally like bias binding. I personally like doubling up things so that I can't see the wrong sides of fabrics, and that's just how I like to construct garments. And again, I am no way saying that you have to do it exactly the same way as me. That is part of the joy of sewing for me, is creating something that gives me pleasure, gives me joy. So yeah, this is definitely a favourite pattern of mine. There will be more, there will be many more. I do enjoy wearing it, I do enjoy sewing it. All in all, very happy. Thank you to the Patreon peeps for voting for this combination. I love how it's turned out. I am glad that I didn't put the piping on, because I have a feeling that it would have looked great on the skirt, but because of the way that the neckline is done, the piping would have been on this edge, and I'm not sure that that would have been quite so successful. Possibly could have put the piping in this seam on the top and then just around the bottom of the ruffle on the skirt, but I love this version and I'm very happy with this, and I don't feel that it needed the piping. And I like that there's the pop of red in the bias binding when the skirt twirls. I think that's really nice, and again, that's why I paired it with the red shoes. Picks out the red flowers. I really like it. I'm very happy with this dress. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section down below and I'll do my best to answer them for you. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, and I will see you again very soon. Bye!